Kickback listeners, a little lad called Jakey Boy.
Alright.
Welcome to Method Radio. It's lovely to have you on the show eventually.
Yes, it's really good to be here.
Close that.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just figuring out the mic levels and stuff. That is proof that we are live and direct from Method Studios. So, Jakey Boy, would you like to quickly introduce yourself to the listeners and give us a quick synopsis of who you are, what you're about, what genre you do, please?
So, my name is Jakey Boy. I'm from the northeast, obviously. I was raised in Chestnut Street, but I've bounced around a lot. And I'm a rapper, producer, and also a mix engineer at Garage Studios in South Shields.
He does a bit of everything, so you're man of many talents.
Jack of all trades.
He is indeed. I have actually been trying to get Jakey Boy onto the show for a couple of months now, but he is a hard person to pin down with him being so busy all the time. And he was over in Jamaica as well, the Johnny Little Sword.
Yep.
But we've eventually got this sorted out and we have got him in the studio. So we are going to do a little interview with Jakey Boy so you can get to know him a little bit better. And once the interview is over, we have got a lovely live set from Jakey as well to perform for you on the show. So let's get into the interview. So, can I first ask you what or who initially got you into music in the first place?
The first rap song that I ever heard was Outkast, Sorry Miss Jackson.
Oh yes, I support that.
That was the first rap song that like perked up my ears kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was 50 Cent and Eminem.
Yes.
And then I turned into a bit of a gangster when I was like 10 for a bit.
I love that.
And then just became really passionate about it.
So from the age of 10 about, you would say. So that's starting pretty young, to be fair. That leads us, to be fair, into my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how old you were when you first started writing bars or writing songs? Do you remember that, or...?
I do. I wrote my first verse on the stairs in my house.
From the stairs?
Getting died by 50 Cent.
Ooh, to a 50 Cent beat as well?
Yeah, and I showed my brother and he told it was rubbish. And then I started doing MCing and stuff like that after that. So.
MCing?
Yeah.
Oh my days. Okay, so if you started in the MC scene, what have you done? Raves? Have you done live performances as an MC, or were you just boring in people's kitchens at house parties?
Yeah, it was just back alleys and house sessions and stuff like that. I didn't think I ever did any sort of gigs and out like that with that type
no
of stuff.
raves or anything like that?
Nah.
No, that's fair enough.
Rock the back alleys and parks and on the things.
I bet your mates were proper buzzing though, to be fair.
I was the boy back in the day, man.
Oh my god. Did you have an MC name?
MC Fluent.
I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer Jakey Boy personally, but then again, obviously...
because I was only fluent in one language, so it didn't really make any sense.
Fluent in the bars. That's brilliant. But what was it that made you make the switch from MCing into... Obviously, you write a lot of songs, like... What made you make that switch, and do you know when that switch happened for you, or...?
Nah, because I used to just write lyrics, obviously freestyles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Just bars, not structuring songs?
Yeah, it was just like freestyles and stuff. And then I recorded my first like full-on song when I was 16 in Gateshead, like at a studio.
That's still quite young, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you remember what studio that was?
I don't. Nah, it was in Dunstan, I think.
Oh, I didn't even know the studio was in Dunstan.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the best. And then I moved to London, and that's when I got into J. Cole and stuff, and that's when I started producing my own beats. And then I started writing songs more when I produced my own beats.
Yeah.
Because like that gives us like the foundation to make a full-on song rather than just rapping, do you know what I mean?
It does give you a lot more freedom, I suppose, when you can write beats that you like, you can structure them exactly how you like. So again, that's brilliant because it leads us on to the next question. Was there a pivotal moment within your career or within when you started writing that you thought, right, I need to start producing my own beats and I need to start doing this for myself? Because I know myself, I get very fed up with going through YouTube. I'm on there for 20 minutes trying to like pick a beat and I'm just getting sick because I'm getting all these trap things with like a bunch of hi-hats and stuff. So do you remember when you were like, right, okay, I'm done and I need to start making my own? Or
Well, it was kind of like that, really like similar kind of thing. I used to I'd be writing to a beat on YouTube or something, and then like the producer would make like a switch on the beat or something, and I would hate it. And then I was really listening to J. Cole when I was like 17, and I found out he produced his own stuff. And then, yeah, that's what led us to get my first Fruity Loops FL Studio, and then just took it from there really, and then I've just been obsessed with it ever since.
That's amazing. And obviously I know that you work at a studio now. And what studio is that, please?
It's the Garage Studios in South Shields.
Yeah. And how long have you been working in there for now then?
A year and a half now.
That's
but I originally
a while.
did my recording there, so I recorded my first proper EP there, like when I was 20 or something like that. So I've known Kyle, who works there for a long time.
Shout out Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle, right? And then just ended up working there, which is mad.
That's class. Do you think you manifested that, or do you think that's just from like going in and recording and then Kyle going, okay, this guy knows what he's doing? Or how did that come about, you working in the studio then?
Just going over like through the years going and stuff, and I always took like a massive interest in what Kyle did in terms of the mixing and things like that. So I learned a lot of stuff from Kyle. Like he probably doesn't realise that, but just going in to record with him and stuff, I picked up a lot of even just structuring songs and helping us, because I used to just make like loops. Like, it would just be like one big loop.
What, like 4 bars, 8 bars, and then just loop
just
it?
Make a song to that. But then he kind of taught us a few tips and tricks that really I think elevated me. I don't know, like structuring it and changing the beat and things like that for the chorus and stuff. So
well, obviously, like on my last episode, me and JR had an interview, and we said there's such a difference between writing bars, writing a verse, and then writing a song with a proper structure. Like it's a completely different ball game. And obviously, I've heard quite a lot of your music. I've played a lot of it on this show before getting you on.
I appreciate it, you know.
No, it's fully deserved. Like anybody who piques my interest, especially because you did kind of just burst onto the scene. I didn't know who we were until we met at the Cafe Under the Spire.
Yep.
That's where we first met.
Right.
And then I was like, ooh, who the hell's this? You know, new on the scene, because I'm nosy like that. I like to know who's doing what around the northeast. And then obviously we've done a track together, in case the listeners didn't know.
Might as well start on Monday.
Yes, and that will be
getting released very soon.
There we go.
Someone keeps picking at the mix all the time.
Yeah, that's me. I'm an absolute nightmare to work with, by the way, guys. So if you ever want to collab, just don't. Because you'll get sick of us. But yeah, you know what it is? I think you bursting onto the scene and really taking people by surprise. You've got so many songs as well.
Yeah.
So how many projects or albums or songs do you have out on streaming? Do you know, or?
I don't actually, to be fair, off the top of my head. I think I've got, I don't know, because I've had like, I changed my name to Jakey Boy, so.
What was your name before that then?
Jake Hen.
So
I've changed. So I had loads of music. I had albums released under that. But I've got over 100 songs on Spotify now. But that's with songs that have been deleted. So I've done a lot over the years.
That's mind blowing, to be fair. And you said, did you release an album earlier this year? Or was that the end of last year? Am I getting that wrong?
This year, March. Chasing Shadows, 16 tracks.
Chasing Shadows.
Get yourself on Spotify.
Exactly. Go on Spotify. Go and stream that album up for Jakey Boy, and I promise you won't be disappointed at all. So let me have a little look at some of the questions I've got on here.
It is with your best.
I'm trying. Right, okay, so with you working at the studio, that was what I wanted to touch on a little bit. Because you are an artist, you will probably look at people coming in the studio on totally different levels than somebody who is just a producer, because you are an artist yourself. So what type of people have you met in the studio, and do you have any good stories from that? You know, do you have bands in? Do you have sort of young people, old people, rappers, singers? What sort of people do you meet in your day-to-day work? Because that is your normal job now.
Well, there's like a mix really. Like you've got, I mean, one thing that took us back a little bit was when like a band will come in and it's like a little lass who's dead sweet, and then she'll go in like the rehearsal room and start screaming death metal. That kind of took us a bit of surprise when that happened. And then there's an old bloke that comes in called Stan, who's been coming in every week for I don't know how many years. but we'll have a big crack in that when he comes in, and he's really, really good at his Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a mixed bag. Like there's loads of different people come in. So, but it's good. It's good to see how much people love music. You know, like when they're coming in and stuff. It's nice to see. You know.
And I think it's nice as well that obviously you're working in there, you're recording people, you're producing for people, potentially making beats for people. Because with you being an artist yourself, obviously you rap, you songwrite, and you sing a little bit as well. I think that.
I do. Plenty of auto-tune in there.
Don't downplay yourself, right? Because we don't have that on this show. We're all about bigging each other up, and we're all about platforming each other, so we'll have less of that negativity. But yeah, I think the fact that you are an artist yourself and you do so many things, that's fabulous, because you're not just a producer, you understand it on a much deeper level.
Yeah.
So I think that's absolutely fantastic, to be fair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's move on to the next question. So, who would you say is your biggest inspiration when it comes to music? Whether that be because you admire their songwriting skills, whether you admire their attitude, whether you admire their work ethic. I mean, you can pick a couple of artists if you like.
Yeah, I was going to say the one's too hard for us to pick, because
no,
I'm inspired by so many people.
We'll touch on a few for the listeners, please.
Well, Eminem, because he's like, when I was a kid and stuff, like he's like the ultimate, he's like the hero kind of thing. And also just he isn't. I like not just that, it's how passionate he is about rapping. You know, like he's he's obsessed with it, which I think's good to see.
Studied it inside and out, hasn't he? He's got it on lock.
And then and I would say like J. Cole as well was massively influential on me to try being an artist, because again, he's the person that inspired us to try producing. And later on, I would say Russ is a big one.
Big shout out to Russ, because I say the same. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of his newest music, but Russ is who got me into rapping. Mainly just from like, he would go on these rants on Instagram and these tracks saying like, if he can do it, you can do it too. And I was like, yeah, Russ, I can.
Well, that's what he did with me, because I was just rapping and producing at that time, but then obviously he does the engineering and stuff. So I was like, that's what inspired me to just try and do it myself, and then never look back really. So so I still look up to him now. I look up to loads of artists, but I mean, I'd be on for friggin' till 10 o'clock at night if I kept going. So.
Ages, yeah, but to be fair, I would definitely agree. Personally, for me, J. Cole and Russ are two of my biggest inspirations as well. Yeah. So you get a little red seal of approval on that, as I do. Next question: what sort of music did you actually grow up on? Like, what sort of music was played in the house when you were growing up, or you know? What was around you when you were younger? Was it pop music? Was it hip hop? Was it jazz? I don't know. Like,
I really like it's a mix of everything. I remember like Guns N' Roses and stuff when I was a kid, like rocking like Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff.
Full bands,
that's taken it away from rapping.
Yeah, of course.
Like me and my brother have always been close because we share like the same musical. We love rap, you know what I mean? And we have since we were kids, so. I would say I just grew up on rap, really.
Did your brother spit it all on? Did you used to rap together when you were growing up?
He used to think he could rap, he used to lie to me. He used to steal T.I.'s lyrics, Psycho, if you're listening.
We used to steal people's lyrics?
Yeah, well I went through years, I thought he was absolutely class, and then it turned out he just twacked somebody's lyrics.
Plagiarism all over the place.
Yeah, but he does it now when he's drunk, and he's called Fat Pimp, so shout out to Fat Pimp.
Pimp! Yeah. Oh, big old Fat Pimp if you're listening, I love that, that's amazing. That is so funny. Right, okay, next question, let's move on. Is there anything that you would like to do more of, or that you think you need more experience of within your career? Because I know you've got a lot of tracks online, but obviously we only met, was it earlier this year that we met through the live gigs and stuff?
It was April, I think. Yeah. That was that cafe under the spire on it.
Yes, it was. Because you were saying you get quite nervous for your live performances and stuff, so have you not done many live gigs, or?
Not really, no, because I've been like just in the studio, but that's when you're saying that's the main thing I would want to do, is more live performances. Producing for other artists as well. Like I want to do that, because I've done it a couple of times lately and I've actually really enjoyed it. So, and more the mixing stuff as well, like just doing the engineering for people.
Very true. And if you work in a studio as well, you know you've got the best of the best sort of equipment, so it's not just like
Oh, it's a canny setup, like.
Like I record in my bathroom, do you know what I mean? Like I'm slumming it a bit. You've got all the proper professional equipment and things like that.
That's how I started though, it's the same thing, man.
Well, everybody's got to start somewhere, and the thing is you work with what you've got at the end of the day. You can't sit around and wait until you've got money to book a studio, because you'll be waiting forever, I think. But of course you make beats as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's just advertise that. If there's any artists who's after beats, please get in touch with Jakey
Shout
Boy.
out Jakey Boy, I can do drill,
Oh.
boom bap, out you need really.
Anything.
I'm your pushing man.
I love that. I love it, honestly. But that's the thing as well. I think working with different artists, working with different styles and different genres, you're only going to gain more experience at the end of the day. And I think that's fantastic as well. Like, I aim to work with as many different artists and bring as many different artists onto the show that I can, because I think any experience, especially if it's a field you're not very well versed in, you can learn a lot because you're doing something new. Like, people tend to stick with what they're comfortable with, don't they? But you're not really, and I'm not saying you can't grow from that, but I'm saying things that make you uncomfortable really help you grow.
Yeah, definitely.
So
learn
it's
a lot from thinking outside the box and trying different things.
Exactly. You don't want to box yourself into one genre or to working with just the same people again and again and again, because there's only so much that you can learn, I suppose. So, right, let's see what else I have got on this list of
I love
questions.
the fact that you're taking off your list.
I am ticking off my list because I don't want to repeat the same question again. But yeah, guys, I like to take this seriously. I have a little bit of a script that I go off.
Register with her.
You know what? It's because I'm an absolute gobshite and I do not stick to the script, and I go, well, you'll know yourself, I go off on a tangent and a rant, so... Right, let me see. Have you got a favourite song that you've ever written, or a favourite set of bars, and why? Or maybe a project that means a lot to you?
I don't know, actually. I think my favourite song I've ever written is probably Same Old Kid, which I'm going to perform. I don't know, like I've write so many over the years, but I don't know, really.
I know I'm putting you on the spot a
yeah,
little
I'll
bit
put us
there,
on the
like,
spot, but
especially if you've got over 100 songs.
certain songs where I feel like were like a turning point in terms of like where I felt like I'd grown and got better as an artist, I think. Yeah, I'd say Same Old Kid, and I'm quite proud of the album I've got called Waiting on the Wind, which I made in my garden shed, so I like entirely
Waiting on
recorded
the
and
Wind. I've not heard that. You'll have to link me that so I can
I
do
had to
my...
wait for the wind to stop blowing so I could record, because it used to sound like I was recording on the top of Everest, like if I didn't wait for a certain time. So.
Well, I can relate to that with me having 2 chihuahuas and I have to wait for them to stop barking in the house so that I can record in my bathroom, do you know what I mean? Plus I live in Baiga, so you've got like motorbikes, you know, screeching down that main road, so that's why I record in my bathroom. It's the only place that doesn't have a window. The struggles of an up-and-coming artist,
that's it, man.
That's it, isn't it? Right. What would you say your goals are for this coming year?
So I want to release a song every week for the rest of the year, starting from next Friday.
Okay.
And I'm setting up like a beat store and stuff like that, so producing for more artists and getting some, just working with other artists, and also gigs. Like I want to put on my own gig and perform at as many gigs as I can, really. So
that's class, to be fair. I love to hear that. So again, actually leading on from that, what are your career goals? Do you have like any events that you would want to perform at, any festivals, like your dream performing? What would you say that is?
I would say either Glastonbury or Wireless Festival.
Oh, you mentioned, because Wireless has just been on recently. You actually mentioned that to me, didn't you?
So I've been like quite a few times, and it's always stuck in my head of like one day just achieving that, really. And,
so Glastonbury and Wireless are your goals. Manifest it, man, manifest it. That's what we're all about here. So I've got a couple more questions before we get you doing your live set. I'm going to wrap up this interview soon, otherwise I'll be here all day. You know what I'm like with my chatting. Yeah, yapping on, thank you very much. Cheeky guests as always in the studio. So, do you have any artists that you listen to that you think might surprise other people, that might take them by surprise?
for the sound of your music,
Mm-hmm.
I would say yeah, because I listen to like my favourite artist of the last say 5 years has been probably longer than that is Kevin Gates.
Really?
Yeah, which is like very like southern gangster trap type of stuff, whereas my music's nothing like that.
Well, I was gonna say you do quite a lot of like melodic singing and your choruses and things. And although I've heard you on sort of grimy beats and rapping and going in before, I wouldn't say that's your.
It's not
that's
my
my
style.
opinion. It's not your predominant style, is it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I listen to a lot of like. I do like a bit. I love a bit of Kings of Leon and stuff like that as well.
Oh, I grew up on Kings of Leon, me, you know. I did, yeah. So we've got that in common. So you get my seal of approval yet again with Russ and Kings of Leon. Maybe you can come back to the studio. You're doing Ari, yeah. I don't need to kick you out, so happy days. Right, okay. Last question actually before we go into your live performance. Is there any artists that you believe are underrated, whether that's in the Northeast or in the mainstream? Is there anybody who you think does not get their flowers that should be getting more? Or any underground artists that you think people should be aware of? Because we love an underdog here at the Kickback.
Yeah, so. I've always said Absol is massively underrated.
Well, I just spun a track by him just before this interview. I feel like you've been influenced.
I've always said that. Trying to think, that's hard to be fair.
Absol is a G, to be fair, because he's very, very true to the hip-hop roots, isn't he? So that's one thing I will say about him. He's a contemporary artist with that very old school feel, isn't he? Yeah.
I think a lot of artists that are in that sort of category of hip hop is underrated, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because it's now more about like trap and melodic stuff. So I think a lot of like real hip hop gets overlooked. So I would just say that as in a general sense. Like I think that music's not getting celebrated as much as it used to. And
thing is as well, he's not really into this sort of like social media viral era that we are in. And that it's not that I'm hating on that, but obviously back in the day when we had Nas, Tupac, Biggie coming up in the prime, in the beginning of their careers, there was no social media, there wasn't even really internet at that time, so we have definitely changed over the years. But I mean, I'm glad that, you know, the real hip hop heads know who Absol is.
Because it's all about trends these days rather than the actual art, which
that's
a bit disappointing.
But that's the thing, a lot of these sort of up and coming sort of drill and trap rappers, and again, there's no hate here, but sort of that younger generation probably wouldn't actually even know who Absol is.
No.
And he's a legend. I'll just say he's a legend, that's my opinion, like, but you know. So Absol definitely.
You didn't put us on the spot with that one though.
Sorry.
I would have like I'd need time to reflect on that a little bit. Just coming out with the first name that comes to my head. So.
As much as I might have a script of questions to keep me on track, I don't script the interviews. Actually, I'm gonna sneak in one more question before we go into your live performance. So this is quite on topic and relevant to what's going on online and social media and stuff at the minute.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on this whole UK versus US rap debate and the beef and everybody sending for everybody at the minute? Do you have any opinion on this or anything to add to the conversation? And again, this is your opinion, so you know you can speak freely. We actually love a controversial opinion on the Kickback, so please speak freely.
I think when it comes to a lot of it was talking about like the lyrical side of it, and people were saying that English rappers are more lyrical than American.
Well, that's what Drake said initially. He didn't say UK rappers were better. He just said their lyrical ability was good. Is that am I quoting this correctly or?
Yeah, but I think like that's again because people are looking at American rap for certain artists that are big. But I think I'm American. Like I like American rap more than UK, but that's just my personal opinion.
It's
and I don't really think there's really much competition there. I think it would be better if people just linked up and made music rather than pitting each other against each other. Like I listened to the diss records that was on and I was pretty, I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were pretty disappointing. Like I
have not even listened to any of the diss tracks. The only thing that I saw was when I was scrolling Instagram the other day, I saw Big Zoo do his diss towards Eminem, and then I saw Foss Freedom of Speech getting his back up about that, and now he's done diss track towards Big Zoo, and it feels like, what year was it when everybody was beefing? Was it like 2015? It was about 10 years ago when everyone was sending for each other, like the Skepta versus Wiley beef.
Yeah.
But again, that was UK versus UK, and I feel like We sort of went back in time.
It just sounds a bit awkward, you know what I mean? Just when you like listen to an American dissing an English person, it sounds strange, you know?
I get what you mean, but I can't even weigh in on that because I haven't listened to any of the. Like I said, the only one I've heard is Big Zoo's diss towards Eminem.
It's just a way of getting attention at the end of the day.
True, it is a way of building hype and bringing a bit of attention back to that. But at the end of the day, a lot of sort of UK rap stems from rap battles, diss tracks.
Yeah, it's part of it.
It is part of it, but I mean, I could never do a rap battle me because I'd either cry or fight me opponent. I'm not built for it, me. I'll stick to writing tracks.
Yeah. No diss records coming out.
Well, I do
Get your
rap.
buzz up though, man.
It does. I do write diss tracks, but I don't specifically send for people. You know, I'm far too positive. You know, and what I'm doing on the kickback, I'm trying to bring people together, not tear down the scene.
That's it, man.
You know. Right, Jakey boy, I think we should wrap up the interview there. Thank you very much for letting the listeners get to know you a little bit better.
Appreciate you having us on.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Like I said, I've been trying to get you on the show for a little while. You are a hard man to pin down, but I'm glad I have eventually got you in the studio. Right, stay locked into Method Radio. You were listening to The Kickback with Little Red. Next, we are going to go into a live performance by Jakey Boy. Can you introduce this first track, please,
this
to the
listeners?
This song
is called Dreamer Boy, and it's off my album called Henna, which is available on Spotify, Apple Music, all platforms.
That is amazing.